There is no triangulation in celestial navigation. So it is actually triangulation. There is no triangulation in celestial navigation. So it is actually triangulation.
With celestial navigation using a sextant, we're not triangulating.
So it is actually triangulation to the GP. So you can draw it on your chart, draw a line there, and then you do it for all three, and you get your intersection. So it is actually triangulation. There is no triangulation in celestial navigation.
With celestial navigation using a sextant, we're not triangulating.
So it is actually triangulation.
Are you serious? Are you...
The double-speaking McBooger-eating, Baldard bum sniffer wouldn't know what the sextant or celestial navigation were if they climbed up his arse and started kicking footballs wrapped in concertina wire.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
I think the sun is a physical object, and I think it is solid enough.
What the hell did you just say?
I think the sun is a physical object, and I think it is solid enough.
Say what?
Yes, a gas giant bounces radar.
How in the world can a
Gas giant
be
solid enough? So yeah, I don't know.
you dumbass cracker?
You are so dumb. Damn.
And we're off. How's it going out there, guys? As usual, if you'd like to support this channel, there are PayPal and Patreon links in the info box below. We got a lively bunch today out there in chat, and a lively bunch in Discord. Leading off, the beautiful Betty Van Belsen. How's it going out there, Betty?
Yeah, I wanted to say hee-haw, like the redneck Dutch girl.
You're redneck Dutch girl. Bow, 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 bow.
Yeah. Imagine that being played by a steel guitar.
Yeah. I love that little jingle.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, they have no.
Oh.
Of course, they have no idea with what we speak of.
Of course.
Let's keep it
Well,
there.
what you said earlier was you have jokers on the left and clowns on the right.
Here I am, stuck in the middle with you.
Yeah, so that's sort of a racist.
Racist with jokers and clown? That's not a racist type of thing.
Yeah, of course it is. Nowadays, everything is racist.
Yeah, everything. If you explain everything, you've actually explained nothing.
Wow, that's profound, man.
Isn't it?
Did you think of that one yourself, or did you get some help?
Yeah, I don't need any help. I was actually, ever since I woke up, I was feeling profoundly profound today.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you sort of tell us how that feels exactly?
I can't. It's unreachable by mere mortals.
That's so bad.
I was feeling symbolic yesterday, though.
Symbolic? Well, I think it's full symbolism now. Can you get off your high tower and come down to us plain people here? Emphasis on plain people.
Yeah. See, we're getting off to a rocking start today. I told you they're fired up out there, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's it.
See, all kinds of fiery emoticons in the chat, so that's good.
There's a lot of fires in there.
Yeah, you're a fire starter.
That was a cool movie back in the day. Firestarter with what's her name again?
Yeah, good call. I don't know. I know it's from a book from Stephen King.
I can see her face. I'm terrible at names. We already been over that a little earlier.
Is it Drew Barrymore?
Drew Barrymore, that's who it was. Yeah. When she was a young pup. Yeah. That was a good movie. That's so old. How old is that movie?
Oh, as old as she is, almost.
Yeah, that's back there, boy.
I saw her yesterday in one of these YouTube clips, and she's having shows now. She's like a show host.
What, like a talk show host?
Yeah, sort of, yeah.
They really piss me off.
Who did? What?
Talk shows. I don't know. There's so, I can't.
There's too many of them.
It's not that it's too many. It's just the quality. It's so fake.
Well, they have like muzzles on because they can't deal with every topic that there is, right?
It just seems so contrived to me. It's not profound. It doesn't reach profound levels, so I dismiss it.
Well, it's a lot of jokes and stuff, and they don't go into any depth, right? So that's not good.
No, it's not. I do not like Formica deep stuff either. So this is personal likes and dislikes QE show.
Well, we got some other guests here. We have Neil.
Neil!
Of course.
What's happening here in QE land?
And we got Adam Meekin here.
No way.
Yes, we do.
Way, dude.
Evening.
Evening, sir. You mean there's not any friggin' family birthdays or bar mitzvahs out there for you?
No, I'm running a little late because I said it was my boy's 17th birthday on Friday, and literally just finished little driving lesson number 3. He's just getting touch control very nicely. So,
cool.
Yeah, it's cool. It was stopping, pulling off tonight, which is better than stopping, stalling.
Yeah, I remember those days. I don't do that. I don't do that anymore. I go with automatic, man. I'm old. I'm not playing that game anymore.
I'm the same because I've got crap knees. But I've told him he's not learning in that because it makes you a disabled driver. You only drive half the cars. You know what I mean? So he needs to learn the manual, and then you can do what you want after that, can't you? But
yes.
But yeah, so running a little late there, and I'm just waiting for a fish finger sandwich for tea because obviously I said I can't have a proper tea. Push up to the shed. So
fish finger sandwich. Oh, speaking of which, I went to a crappie cook-off. Right? They had a crappie tournament, crappie bass, and
crab. It was a crab.
They're not crabs and they're not crappie, even though I call them that sometimes, just a little twang. But they're crappies. And I went to it was a fishing contest that's held every year. It's real close. Of course, my phone had to go off. 1 second. I'm going to bury this thing.
Bury what thing? So do you know what crappies are, Adam?
I was about to ask that.
Just wait a second. I just got back from throwing that thing. Lucky my window wasn't open. I'd have threw that damn phone out. So, went to a fishing tournament. It was good. It's like a big old neighborhood thing, like a small town neighborhood thing. So they go out to different ponds and lakes in the area, which there are many. It starts at 8 o'clock in the morning to 4 o'clock, and then you sign up for it. I didn't do any fishing, but you sign up for it. You pay a certain amount of money, and then you bring your fish back before 4 o'clock for a weigh-in. And they take all the fish and they fillet them right there, and then drop them in a deep fryer along with some potato chips. And let me tell you something, boy. Those crappie are delicious, man. And I got some fringe benefits with this because it's up at the bow shop, right? The bow guys do this. It's more focused towards fishing their shop. However, they do bow on the side. However, I know all these guys, and they said, "Listen, we're going to have tons of crappie left over. We'll just give you a bag." So I went back up here the other day, and they say, "Here's your bag." So I got a whole mess of crappie in the refrigerator, in the freezer, by the way. Getting ready for the fish fry. I'm going to do it my way. What, Betty? What?
Well, there's a lot of questions. So you get free fish. So is it the same as the fish and chips that Adam Meakin in England gets?
No, they're not eating crappie over there.
That's what I thought. I was going to ask. Do you batter your crappie?
Yes.
Or is it just go in?
Now, wait a second. Now, when they were cooking it, they didn't batter it. They just used a cornmeal. More or less, it's like a rub. They just toss it in there and then toss it in the fryer. But you see, I like the batter. So I got some Louisiana crappie batter. Right? We're going to throw some egg in there and then dip those crappie in that Louisiana crappie batter and then toss them in the iron skillet.
I'm sure we've covered this. I assume it'll be a beer batter.
It's not a beer batter. It's a Louisiana crappie batter. It's specifically designed for crappies.
Just use beer instead of water. Whatever the recipe is, beer instead of water.
We're not using beer. We're using eggs.
No water at all.
So you want me to use a beer egg batter?
If in your recipe there's any water, yeah, then replace it with just beer instead of water.
I understand that. I cook a lot of things with beer. You ever have beer up the ass chicken?
Is that where you stick a bottle up it?
No. Betty's losing it. No, it's not a bottle. It's a can.
So you can the chicken?
Yeah, it's called beer up the ass chicken. You never heard of that?
No.
Yeah.
Never.
And then never. No. So what you do is you shove it up there, and then you roast it or in the oven, and then the beer just evaporates, or the alcohol evaporates, and they call it beer up the ass chicken. It's really good.
Yeah, but what did you do with the can?
You take the can out before you eat the chicken.
Okay, what the hell? So you put it in the chicken, then you put it out, get it out of the chicken? What's happening?
After you're done cooking, you pull the can out. Yeah, you're not going to eat the can.
The can is closed.
No, the can's open.
Who opens the can then?
You open the
chicken.
Can. The chicken.
This is kind of the dumbest thought I've ever.
Yeah.
You Americans are crazy.
No, we just like to try different things, especially with our cuisine. It's got a hint of redneckery.
Chickens. You're the chicken chucker.
You're the rooster booster.
Yeah, well, I can't be a rooster.
I didn't say you were a rooster. I said you were a rooster booster.
I could be.
Beer and stroganoff. Yeah, we could do a beer batter. I want to try this Louisiana once. I'm not going to cook all of them. Maybe
How
about.
many did you get?
Say again?
How many did you get?
About 25 fillets.
Whoa, that's kind of.
Yeah, crappies aren't they aren't really big. We have a couple big ones. I had a really big one over at the cook-off. I wasn't looking because they were all in this all in the pan, not the pan, but they have a little container where all they put all the fried fish in, and I wasn't really looking. I was looking over at those potato chips, and I was just tossing fish on. And I got over to my seat, and it turns out that the one that won the biggest crappie was the one I got the biggest crappie on my plate. I could tell because it was almost like 2 inches thick. I said, damn. I took a look at it, and see, it didn't cook all the way. So they had a dog running around the place, so I gave the dog the one part that didn't cook.
So you want the dog to die?
No, dog can handle that stuff. He threw up later.
So he can't handle the stuff. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Try to kill the dog.
I didn't try to kill him. I knew he'd survive. He's a young dog. But anyway. So that's what we're going to do this week. Now, I'll try. You get me a beer batter recipe for fish, Adam. That's your mission. And you send it to me in Skype. And I'll try that for the next iteration. But I got to try this Louisiana. This Louisiana, like I said, it's not a rub. You roll them in there after the egg, right? So I'll try it.
It's a prefab thing that you buy on the market.
Yeah. Let me see if I can't scare it up. So
I've
Louisiana.
got one question on the crappies.
Okay.
What we're gonna batter? What's the flesh? What's the meat like? Is it like a trout or is it like a cod or a?
It's more like cod.
Cool.
And a
That's
season.
big. This is going to be nice in a batter, that is.
I'm telling you, it's this was highly recommended. So hold up. So I got the Louisiana crab bowl. That's what I didn't want. And a crappie. The heck?
All the way from Louisiana. Louisiana.
All right, I'm looking from images, and it's not giving me what I want. I don't think. Got Louisiana chicken fry, fish. It just says fish fry, but I think ours is specifically crappie, but it's not giving it to me.
Maybe it's off the market already.
Hold on a second. Let me go take a look at it. And go ahead, Betty, you got the cone.
That's amazing, isn't it? So, Adam, do you know about crappies? You have crappies too?
That was just as amazing to put that back to me. Well done. I was just trying to find out what they are. They seems to be saltwater fish, which would make sense in terms of cods and trout, but
might be just American thing, the American lake.
Sounds like a slangism or something, because it's not. Because Google comes up with, do you mean crappie fish? Obviously, listen to you. The crappies are two species of North American freshwater fish of the genus Pomoxis. There you go. Some fishes. Both species of crappies, but it doesn't come up with like a crappie, so that does sound like a colloquial term. What kind of fish is a crappie?
It's a bass.
The crappie is also known as a crappie. Crappie.
Brilliant sea bass.
It's a bass.
What's a bass?
It's derived from a Dutch word.
There you go. Yeah.
All right.
The name derives from the French word crappie, referring to several different species, including the speckled bass and white perch. They're considered to be the best tasting freshwater fish.
They are. Now, a lot of people fight because they say flathead catfish, the farm raised flathead catfish are the best. I have to majorly disagree. So this is a seasoning. I just threw it up there. So it's not a crappie. It's New Orleans style fish fry.
The best New Orleans style. Come on.
Yeah. So that's what we got. So that's what I'm going to work with. And you guys don't know what crappies are. So hold on a second. I'll show you what a crappie bus is. Let's see, crappie. Oh,
in England, right, as it appears to, we have this thing called discernment. So if we were eating speckled bass or a white perch, we'd use the appropriate term for what we're eating, not just call them all crappies or crappies.
Okay. Now this is a monster. You usually don't find them. Is that a crappie? Oh my God, that thing's huge. Here we go.
We want to see that too, because we don't see it.
You will right now.
Hopefully.
Now, they don't usually get this big. They're much smaller, but this is a crappie.
Is it alive or dead?
This one looks alive. He's going to be
Yeah.
dead shortly because that guy is not going to let him go.
Well, he looks big because he holds his hand ready to the camera. Look at how small he is behind it. So that fish is not that big.
It is big. For a crappie, it's huge.
Yeah, but it's an illusion, Joe.
It's not an illusion. You're an illusion. So let's go back here.
Then I can disappear as an illusion.
All right, here's another good one. On the go over here. Let's see what this one got for us. So this one over here. So it gives you a largemouth bass on the right and a crappie on the left. Now, if you're looking at it, it's on your right, and the largemouth is on the left. But as he's looking at it, it's on his left, and the largemouth's on the right. So the crappie is right here.
What's that? What's the smaller one? Lean one.
This is a large. Don't you already know this is largemouth? This is Moby.
Moby?
Yeah.
The fat one?
Yeah. But he's not as fat as Moby.
I'd feed 2 at least a fish like that. That's a big fish to eat.
You want largemouth bass isn't particularly good. This is the gold mine right here. Just to let you know. All right, we got enough crappies. We're gonna be here all day.
Yeah, no, we won't.
All right, crappie. So we got our seasoning, but Adam, I'm serious. I want you to send me that beer batter recipe, for fish.
On its way. I'll ask the missus when I go down.
All right, sweet. Okay, so what else we got?
Hold on. I just seen the picture because I just got it. I have one of those. I just got it fresh Sunday. And I watched my brother-in-law carve it up and slice it up into like steaks. I'm getting ready to eat it, maybe tonight or tomorrow. But mine was from salt water. It wasn't fresh water.
Yeah, that's not a crappie. There is no saltwater crappie.
So what do I just have a bass then, I guess?
You might have a sea bass.
Striped bass, that's what it is.
Yeah, you might have striped bass. Yep. Yeah. I don't.
Is that any good?
I don't know. I don't think I ever had striped bass. I haven't caught one either. It's amazing. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't ate one.
Sad thing is I never caught a fish in my life.
What?
Never caught a fish, man. Nope.
Anybody in New York, I'm pleading with you. Go get Neil and take him fishing. My word, sir.
I'm pleading too.
Maybe Neil can't swim. Maybe that's the reason.
I swim like a fish.
He just doesn't catch fish. You got to go
Exactly.
fishing. Come on.
Then you must be the prey of fish.
Yeah, that's. I'm very sad to hear that. I tell you what, though, once you start, it's highly addictive. Just to let you know. Yeah. I was addicted for most of my life.
We know, John, but
until somebody showed up, and it was the sexy bow beast.
Oh my goodness! Until then, you were like.
Yeah, the sexy bow beast showed up and stole my heart.
Yeah, well, you're still addicted then. Oh, my cats are like flying out through the room here. Sorry.
All right, so we can move on. We have one picture of the sexy bow beast right there. I guess
so you came to one addiction to the other.
Yeah, I sort of have that type of personality. I realized that many moons ago, a little addictive personality. But hey, we all have our weaknesses.
OCD like?
A touch.
A touch. Oh wait.
But I have the power to realize that, right? And then step back so I can see the big picture through the trees.
Yeah, and then go on doing it.
And then go back to the trees again, because that's where I like it.
Exactly. Oh yeah, we all got our addictions, I suppose.
Yes, we do, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
All right, Adam, you done? Can we get on to the presentation? Because Betty wants to leave early.
Well, no.
Oh, no.
Just because it's quite an unusual evening. I'm drinking a red this evening. I've run out of white. That's why. I thought I'd share quite a nice one. It's from the Abruzzo region in Italy, a Montepulciano. It's quite a nice red that you can have chilled in the summer. It's not too heavy. Really nice light wine. So yeah, Montepulciano, John. Very nice.
That's I didn't realize I asked you.
No, I was just telling you. It didn't. But if you're now after a nice light red for the summer,
I don't like wine.
you should get into it.
I don't. It gives me a headache.
You're not drinking enough.
That's because you stopped drinking. Oh, funny. No comeback to that one, John.
No, I don't. What can I say to that? What do you have to? Yeah, but do you have to guzzle it? Because you're not gonna. There's a point where it's not going to be enough that you're going to reach where the headache comes.
If you just have a little bit and let it simmer, yeah, then that could happen, couldn't it?
So you have to. So you have to drink it fast, is what you're saying.
No, sip gently over time. Enjoy.
Sip gently over how long of a time?
Well, that's how long is it till bedtime?
From I can't do it today. Till bedtime, 12 hours.
So I'd wait probably at least 6 before taking the first sip. Otherwise, it will give you an headache later.
If I do that, I should be at my son's track award ceremony. I don't know if they'd like me friggin'
that from any experience of going to award ceremonies, yeah, that would probably be a really good idea, because for the 5 seconds that you see your son, the other 3 hours, I don't know what you're going to do. Good idea.
I wonder how you would look like that, waiting for that Adam, and then sitting in the chair, like not be able to sit still, or like singing songs or something.
Everybody knows once you've seen your kid, it's how do I get out?
Yeah, usually it's towards the end.
Yeah, all these ceremonial like talks that they do, and announcements for over 3 years and stuff, what they're going to do and stuff, and donations being made, right?
I don't know what you're going on about.
No, well, I've been on a sort of a, yeah, how to say that? How do you say that? Well, I played a bugle in a fanfare, right? And you have these sort of meetings after you did a show or did a and then you had these announcements and people getting like little medallions and stuff, and it was like a waste of time.
That was a riveting story.
Yeah,
it was worth it, because I've got now an image of Betty playing a bugle.
I'm still hanging off the edge of my seat.
Yeah, well, the music was good, but then the waiting till the announcements were being made and people were decorated with that sort of things, and yeah, it took ages.
Yeah, we all experience those things during life. It's usually like if you go to a big graduation or something, look out. It depends on how big the school is. If it's a really big school, you're going to want to take your own life.
You lose the will to live.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm losing the will to live. Yeah, too funny.
Well,
All right.
well, I'm about to say the same thing, so start the presentation.
We got to start the presentation, right? We're going to start it over again. We're going to play whack-a-mole with Einstein and Newton a little bit. Say again?
Didn't we do that last time?
Not so much with Einstein and not too much with Newton because we were talking about the universal law of gravitation. Now we're going to talk, this is associated with gravity somewhat, but I'm going to sprinkle in some of actually things that Newton is responsible for as far as we know.
Okay, can I ask Adam a question about the former presentation? Can you show that equation one time?
What?
You had that.
Oh, the one from the beginning? Yeah, I think I still got it. I think it's up in the beginning.
I wonder what Adam feels about that equation. Does he think that we can do with it?
Oh, brother, we're going to be here 45 minutes just on this.
Oh, come on.
Go ahead.
I just want to know.
Well, it's an equation, whatever it is, so it's going to be limited to whatever.
So we have. Can you pronounce that equation, John?
The force of gravity equals big G M1 times M2 over R squared.
So what does that say to you, Adam? How do you apply that equation?
Whoa. Not from reality.
So what if
So this is the what the force of gravity that a body on the Earth would feel, isn't it? This is
but
M1,
what?
mass
Like
1,
what?
mass 2 times R squared.
mean-
So
Adam, what if the answer is 12?
It can't.
this is this fudgy one, isn't it? Because M1's kind of irrelevant within the. This is where they use clever maths, isn't it? And you think these. Because, yeah, whatever M1 is kind of irrelevant to the force you'll generate, but they put it in there to give it lip service. But it's always going to be the number they started with, which will be the number they use from observation to then backwork to give M2 with an assumption of R. I can tell.
Adam, I've seen Red's Rhetoric one time do this equation, and he said something on the equator. It would be like, say, a number, right, like 6, and near to the North Pole, it would be like 12. So what? Do we feel it?
So my point being is, if every time they drop something, they're going to get 9.8, right? Are they going to assume R because they've assumed that from somewhere else? So that parameter they're going to have to put in. As I say, M1 becomes negligible. So all you can do then is work with the fact that you've got FG in the first place. Because what you can't do is have M2 unless you've got a set of interplanetary scales that you're going to define M2 from. Then all you can do is assume M1 from the fact that you've got 9.8 from dropping stuff.
What is 9.8?
Force.
That's a number.
Right. Yeah. But it's the rate that you observe stuff.
How do I feel that number? I mean, with temperature, you have well, how do you say that? A sort of a scale, right? That we think that is a scale, right? We have Celsius with Fahrenheit, but what does it mean exactly? I mean, if you don't know, so I don't know what Fahrenheit is. I have no feeling about that at all, right? If someone says Celsius, then it says something to me, right? But I also feel the temperature, right? So I can sort of relate. But with gravity, do I feel difference between me moving a little bit more to the north or to the south? Mm-mm. So that number is like totally nonsense, right? So what are we doing here?
It's key. If you don't accept that number, then you can't extrapolate back from it the mass of the Earth based on it.
What's mass?
Well, either way, but it's a backward. What I'm trying to say is that they can't define the mass of or weight of the Earth, however you'd want to do it. So the only way they can do it is to use that equation and work backwards from it to give you the number, which is derived from the fact that you've got 9.8 anyway. So all you've got is just a shuffle of numbers with a pre-assumption that mass has something to do with an imaginary force.
Yeah.
And if you construct an equation from reality where the pre-assumption is of the mass of the Earth is derived from the real-time derived acceleration rate of things when you drop them, yeah, and to construct an equation around that to formulate the mass of the Earth, then whatever you put in there is kind of going to work or look like it's working, especially if you negate M1 to be so insignificant that it always works out to be just based on M2 over R squared. And that's what they've done, isn't it? So everything falls at the same rate, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, exactly. So you were going to say something about mass, I think, John, next, right?
Yeah, I was going to start off with that, but since you wanted to start off with this, and I know you're in a hurry, I don't want to hear it.
Go on. You are on with the mass.
So you like Adam's answer?
Massive. I find it funny that he's sort of into the whole equation with all these specific like meanings, which means nothing. So he goes a long way with it, right? For me, like the really numpty that I am, I'm thinking, okay, there's an outcome to that, and what does that relate to? What do I feel? What do I see? What do we see happening? Nothing. It relates to nothing.
More or less, yes.
Yeah, we could work with zero. It would be working.
It's funny, your conclusion to your question to Adam was, what is mass? That's what I was going to start out with. This, I was going to start here exactly at this spot.
Well, good.
Yeah,
Take
because I wanted the review from last week before we went on. I just wanted to start out just to establish some type of context.
Please do.
So let's go back to Edwin Taylor and John Wheeler, Space-Time Physics in 1992. What is mass? Well, nature does not offer us any concept as the amount of matter. History has struck down every proposal to define such a term. Even if we could count the number of atoms or by any other counting method try to evaluate the amount of matter, that number would not equal mass. So from the people that we ask what mass is, and they say the amount of matter, they're in direct contradiction with not me, not Adam, not Nathan, not any flat earther. Do you see who wrote this? Edwin Taylor and John Wheeler. Now, John Wheeler, you're getting into the big boy britches territory. I'm just telling you, of secular so-called science. So I'm not saying this. They are. I'm just relaying this. That's why I always said that, see, we're dealing with this fanatical fuckwit group to the left, the anti-flat earthers, that just make stuff up. They hold me to account for this. I didn't say it. It's their own guys telling them that, but they just make stuff up. They don't even know what their pseudosciences scientists are telling them, is what I'm trying to tell you. Right? You can see it plainly right here. And again, from Olivia Newton's grandfather, this is becoming my fast favorite, by the way. Just want to let you know. He says, and this is even bigger pants than John Wheeler, by the way. In ordinary language, the word mass denotes something like amount of substance. There we go again. Amount of substance. Yeah, but they just destroyed that up here. Of course, this was a long time ago. Max Born said this long time ago. But I digress. In ordinary language, the word mass denotes something like the amount of substance or quantity of matter. These concepts themselves being defined no further. The concept of substance is considered self-evident. This is really important part right here. In physics, however, as we must very, very strongly emphasize, now he isn't just emphasizing it, he's very strongly emphasizing that in physics, the word mass has no meaning. Now, did QE say that? Now, I said that as I was reading it, but is that my postulation? Of course not. It's Max Born. He's in Einstein's theory of relativity. See this Dover Public? You see this stuff down here? See, that doesn't say QE. Just to let you know. I'm just telling you what the secular side has known for years, almost over 100 years. Right? Why are they saying this? Well, QE finished with what he said. Okay. other than that given by formula. So the word mass has no meaning other than that given by formula. Well, we're talking about physics. Physics is not formulas. That's mathematics. See? It is the measure of the resistance to changes of velocity. So let's just roll with that. We'll use his mathematical definition, and then I'm going to take you in the corner and flamethrow you. So, Baldard hypothesis, given the resistance to acceleration, then the resistance to acceleration attracts the resistance to acceleration. It's nonsense, right? Because it's mathematics. You're trying to, it's a category error, right? That he's put in here. Somebody want? Go ahead.
That's helped actually, because this one's always bugged us, hasn't it? And I think we laughed on this early days because I remember being told early on at uni and bringing this differentiation to one of my chemistry teachers who laughed at me because I'm thinking I'm a smart ass, maths, blah 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 blah. And he referred to me that who's measured that ever? What is it? All you've got, Sonny, is weight. They were his words. And I think I can have a really crude go at what mass is. I think mass is a mathematical transposition from a real world measurement of weight into the atomic theory. So we try to equate mass mathematically to weight.
No. That's
the best fudge I can think they're trying to do, because there's nothing. It's a reification. It is my only understanding, because we're trying to reify what we take in the real world as weight and reify it into. And it's to reify it into a model. This is the confusing bit, because the only place you place it, this concept of mass, is to give it an assignment within the atomic theory, so that electrons weigh nothing, protons weigh this. So that's how they try to use it, as an assignment of unproven subatomic particles. But you said no, so go on.
No, because the secular guys, I could go track it down, but they differentiate mass and weight specifically.
Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to figure out what mass. I know what weight is. I'm fine with that convention. I'm just trying to think what we do and how we do it in our heads, just as chemists, how we reify it and make it real. Because for years I did, even though I would just conflate the two. You see what I mean? Because actually, if you try and figure out what you're doing with it, it's just math, isn't it? All you're trying to do is make an assumption that whatever you've taken in terms of weight is now actually a construct of protons and neutrons, to assign a still ropey version of assign a meaning, but not really a full definition of mass, because it's still, whereas weight within its convention has a meaning. Even within mass in atomic, all you do is assign a numerical value of mass to it. You still don't define what mass is within that convention.
Right.
Because,
yeah, you're right. It's a convoluted squirrel screw.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to point this out. Like I said, this is one of my favorites, and of course it leads to absolute absurdity. If you want to roll with this, the ending of Max Born's citation here, you can roll with that, and then I'm going to roll you right into this. So it doesn't matter. He just told you in physics, though, the word has no meaning. None. I'm trying to tell you guys.
What I'm saying. That's what struck me. That's the thing that made me just chirp in.
Yes,
you try and figure it out, and if you do, it is a complete headbender, because there is no meaning there other than you've assigned a value of mass to some particles which support your model, but that doesn't have any bearing to reality.
Right? Yes, sir.
You've only got weight.
Yeah, and their weight has mass in it. So, like I said, back to the convoluted squirrel screw.
So no, you see, no, that's the point. Their weight has mass in it.
Yeah.
But no, all you've got is weight and the convention in which we derive it. You may want to take that weight and break it up with a G and mass. But again, that's a mathematical construct from the reality that all you've got is the convention of weight.
Yep. It's not physics. We're in mathematics now, folks.
Exactly. And as soon as you go to that, you first of all make the mathematical assumption that weight is now composed of m times g, even though you can define neither. But you work from that premise forward.
That you can define neither. Exactly. So I'm going to roll you guys all into this one if you want to play that little game, even though he told you, you guys skip this part and say, oh, but listen what he said, he said formula measure resistance to changes of velocity, which is acceleration, right? Resistance to acceleration. That's what he's talking about right here. So I'm going to roll you right into this, right? And let you have at it, put your flag in there and defend that nonsense. I'm going to make a fool out of you. All right. So that's where I wanted to start this off. We're starting off at 146, Patty. Just want to let you know. It's all your fault.
146?
Yeah, I got 1346 right here, time.
What does that mean?
Yeah, because you told me so I have so much time for this presentation is what that means.
You need an hour and 40 seconds.
We're going to see where it ends up. So let's see where we go. I'm going to skip a couple parts because I don't think they're really that important. Just stress.
Can I first do a super chat then?
Yes, please.
Okay, let me scroll that up. So Godzilla37 says, Betty, you know how to read super chats and not miss them. Any chance you can share that skill with Nathan?
Yeah, listen, I was guilty of that last week too. Remember, I got all the super chats at the end, but I have an excuse. I didn't have my sidekick with me. She wants, you know, that's my excuse, and I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, sure.
She's two-timing me. So, Newton train wreck. Let's get in with this. I want you to pay close attention to it because it's probably going to go really fast. So let's go. Again, this isn't, I'm not saying this. You see this down here in this citation. It gives you who is saying this. This is Professor Shankar. He is the chair, professor of physics at the most world-renowned university in the entire world. It's not me saying this. I'm just using their pseudoscientists up against them. That's all I'm doing. So let's read what he has to say. The laws of physics are always quantum mechanical laws. You don't have separate laws for big and small things. Now, how many times have you heard people say, what about beach balls and bowling balls, QE? Right? Well, I just point them right here because they're idiots. I digress. I'm sorry. The real question is, how do these very same laws, when applied to big things, there we're getting into the big things, the bowling balls. By big things, I mean the things you see in daily life give the impression that the world is Newtonian. Now, what is he trying to say here? If I give you the impression that I'm Superman, am I Superman? That's rhetorical, by the way. That's what he's trying to tell you.
Yes. But...
So, yeah, a lot of people would say yes. I have to agree, but that's another subject. What he's trying to say here is there's, on the outside, it looks like this, but under the hood, there's something going on that's completely different. If you didn't know what he was saying right there. I broke it down for you. Okay? Good. Let's move on.
Again.
Uh-oh.
This is good, because this is the row with Ranty. Because that, not a bowling ball, because that's lots of molecules, and we're not talking about... but yeah, you know, if you had a molecule as big as a bowling ball and you could make it go slow enough, it would follow the laws, and it would exhibit a wave function, from what I can understand. That's exemplified. It's not just photons, electrons that we've done this, but they've done it wave pattern collapse, haven't they, with complex molecules.
Yes.
And that's the thing that always stuck to me, and the experimental evidence that these laws do apply. Even, you know, it's not very big, it's not a bowling ball, but it's not a photon, it's not an electron. It is actually a molecule that they're doing this with. and it's still following the same laws. So, yeah, a molecule as big as a bowling ball, if you could get it to go slow enough, technically,
it's a little bit more in depth than that, but that's outside. That's outside the scope. In fact, I'm going to skip that part. It's right down below his too. So thanks, Adam.
Oh, is that? I'm going to film me wine.
Don't worry about it. I was going to skip that part anyway. It's beyond the scope. I just want to stress a couple points here because
if you do the geeky stuff, right? And I know Nathan has got me and Brian, but if you do the geeky stuff, it's things like that just there's so much support it. If you get into the real cutting edge of stuff, it's supporting our argument. You know, it's there and it adds a lot more to than just a statement from a revered guy. If you bother to go and read, you'll see these things are true. He's not just making a statement. There's experiment there to demonstrate it. A bit of a high horse, wasn't it?
Sorry about that. My cat's getting rambunctious. All right, Adam. I agree with what you said, even though I didn't hear the last part. All right. Shut up, Betty. So
You need to be careful with that.
yeah, I do need to be careful, but I can trust Adam implicitly.
I thought I was going to have to go for. I thought he's having a bit of a banana. Just with that pause. I thought I should have carried on.
That is so funny.
Yeah.
No, I didn't have the banana, even though it's sitting over there, because I made a mistake during last BALLBUSTERS not having a snack, and I'll tell you what, it was a huge mistake. We won't get into that. So I'm here to slap around Newton a little bit. All right, just let me go on, and then we'll slap Einstein around a little bit. So then we got Richard Feynman, lecture on quantum electrodynamics. Now listen, I am not Richard Feynman. I did not say this. Just to let you know. Let's see what he has to say. Since they revere Richard Feynman, right? The discovery of quantum mechanics first, and then the behavior of light, and then the behavior of matter, finally culminating in 1926 with a full equation of quantum mechanics, which told us that the laws of motion of Newton were not right. I'm not telling you that. He's telling you that, right? I just want to make sure you understand that he's saying that, not QE. I'm just using their own pseudoscientists against them. That's all I'm doing, right? And you'll hear the opposite of them because they're the left-wing fuckwit faction that just makes shit up. That's what I'm trying to point out here, along with slapping Newton and Einstein around a little bit. We're going to do some other slapping here. This is going to be an eye-opener to some people. I haven't stopped here too many times. I am going to stop here for a point. And we're going to get to that point right here in the pink. Just 1 second. So we're back to, now, these are big britches, guys, right? I didn't say this. Chair of Physics at Yale said this. All right, so today we're going to shoot down Newtonian mechanics. And who? Maxwell's theory. That's James Clerk Maxwell, if you're unfamiliar. We're like the press. We build somebody up only to destroy them. So he's going to get to taking Newton and Maxwell to task. And it's going to end for these two, Newton and Maxwell, so quickly. It's breathtaking. So I'm going to stop here with Maxwell's theory because he has a little love affair with one of our favorite topics recently. Can anyone take a guess what that might be?
The sextant?
Nope. This guy. James Clerk Maxwell. Because we're going to get to pummling James Clerk Maxwell swiftly in a few seconds. Anyone? Now, Maxwell's famous for a lot of things, but there's something in particular that a lot of people jump on these days that was kind of the backbone of his little theory here, electrodynamics. Anyone?
Wave.
Ether.
Oh, I didn't say that word around you. I was never going to say that.
So James Clerk Maxwell was a big proponent of the ether. Now, if you don't believe me, just go back and read up on James Clerk Maxwell and his theory on electrodynamics. Guess what Professor Shank... Hold on a second. Is this a QE presentation or a QE Atom presentation?
Oh, it's turning into the latter. I'd say wave theory. Just to save my reputation.
Okay, your reputation is saved. You're unscathed.
I didn't think you'd be bringing that topic up. That's why I was hesitant and had to word it.
I know you guys didn't. I thought I'd pop a surprise on you.
That's why I was quiet. Right, I'm dumb. I'm quiet.
All right, this is going to be really quick. So, again, it's not me saying this. This is Chair Professor of Physics at Yale. You can go see this. You can go on YouTube under Yale. There's the link right there. Just type in the key experiments in wave-particle duality. That's all you got to type in, and Professor Shankar is going to pop up right in front of your face, right? And he's going to walk you step by step through the nonsense. Okay? So this is what he said. So here's what you do to find out what's wrong with electrodynamics. I mean Maxwell's theory. It all starts with the double slit experiment. I'm going to circle back to that in here a second. So everything looks good for Maxwell till start doing the following experiment. I love that word till. If you ever, little sidebar here. If you ever want to do a Bible study, get a concordance and find out all the places where this word occurs, till, and it's a self-actualization experience. But I digress. So we're going to go back here because it's not really the double slit experiment that shows where Maxwell's theory is wrong. So all you had to do back in the day, what they did, right? And it doesn't have to be a double slit. It could be any slit. Doesn't matter. What they did back in the day, because they didn't have lasers and stuff like that, they took a really weak light, right? And they had a photographic plate. Like I said, you could do a single slit or double slit. Doesn't matter. And what they did was they moved this light way far back away from the slit or double slit and the photographic plate. That's what they did. They moved it way far back. And they said, okay, we're just going to wait, see what happens, right? And what they did when they come back after a little while, they seen on the film was exposed. They seen this little tiny dot. And as soon as they seen that, bye-bye Maxwell. It's as simple as that. He was finished with that. Swiftly dead. Zero. He's a big fat zero. That's how easy it was to destroy Maxwell. You don't believe me? Go ahead and pull this up. That's all it took. He's finished. And all this electrodynamics horse shit is finished along with him. But you'll still hear people better James Clerk Maxwell. Electrodynamics. EM waves, man. EM waves. Yeah. He's finished. He just told you. Chair of Physics at Yale just told you. All right, that's my sidebar with James Clerk Maxwell. We're going to get back to Newton. Here we go again. First, I want to tell you what goes wrong. Here we go again, this time with Newtonian mechanics. The double slit experiment is a problem. Now, he's correct in this one, double slit, exactly. That's what puts the nail in the coffin for Newtonian physics. I don't know what that means, but it doesn't sound really good. And I don't think it's going to smell very well once you get there. Now I'm going to explain to you how. So we have a double slit experiment. Just a double slit. Don't need an experiment. So we have a double slit with a Newtonian particle, an electron. We close one slit and fire a bevy of electrons and we get 10 hits at point A. We close that slit and open the other slit and fire a bevy of electrons and we get 8 hits at point A. The Newtonian prediction would be, it must be, if we fired that same bevy of electrons with both slits open, we, like I said, must get 18 hits at point A. There's no other way around it. Guess what we get? A big fat 0 from Professor Shankar. What does that mean, Professor? Well, that is the end of Newtonian physics. Did QE say that? Or did the chair of physics at Yale say that? That's rhetorical, by the way. Well, I didn't say that. He said it. With cowbell. He told you, and he's going to show you why. That's cowbell, folks. That's not no hand wave. Right? That has substance. Something that math doesn't have, by the way. So, in relation to Newtonian or classical mechanics, this is what we got from the bevy of citations that I just posted. We have shoot down, the nail in the coffin, destroy, that is the end of, and the laws of motion of Newton were not right. What other conclusion do you think I should come up with here? Rationally speaking. So what is particularly confusing about this, Baltards? I guess I'm looking at the wrong context or something, huh? Go brush your teeth. Have a nice day, by the way. Yeah. All right. We're going to skip that part. That's Adam's part right there. We're skipping that part. So we're going to move to Einstein. Any questions before I go there? Any questions on Newton? Let's stop there. Yes? No? Is anyone out there?
Yeah. No.
Am I still live?
Is my mic working?
Yeah. Okay, I guess that means there's nothing there. Okay, fair enough. Let's roll. Adam took me giving him responsibility for the show a little personally. He's going to shut up now and drink his red wine.
I'm on it.
All right, here we go. Einstein. Let's just pull the E equals MC squared apart. This is going to be pretty easy. Basically, this is horse pucky if you weren't familiar. Horse pucky. And number 2, equations can't explain. At the very best, at its very, very best, back to Betty, they can merely describe. Most don't even do that. But at the very best, they merely describe. This particular equation is a fairy tale. I'm going to show you how. You ready? First of all, ask any mathematician, I mean a real live one, and he will tell you that every single variable in any equation has to be defined rigorously. I dare you to ask any mathematician, no, actual one. He's going to tell you that, right? So let's see how this holds up. First, we're going to have to find that E, right? Define energy. Back to Richard Feynman. Now, this isn't me, right? This is not QE. This is Richard Feynman from the world-famous Feynman lectures at Caltech. It is important to realize that in physics today, we have no knowledge of what energy is. Now, I didn't say that. He said it. I'm just relaying the information to you. There's not going to be any other sense of this word, right? You're not going to find anything. If he goes down below that in this citation and states that he knows what energy is, then he just contradicted himself. Because there's no way around this. Let me say it again. It is important to realize that in physics today, we have no knowledge of what energy is. None. I could stop right there. It's over. It's over for this equation because you can't define E. Now, don't come off mute yet. If you have a question about that, you want to bagak, capacity to do work, QE. Not a problem. So you define it as capacity to do work. We got another problem. This guy right here. You see that M? Now, for math, do I really need to go through this again? I don't really need to go through it. So I can stop right there. Prosecution rests. It's all over for that equation because you can't define it. And to go further, the speed of light is merely a convention. It's arbitrary. It's man-made that we've agreed upon. I am not going to go through an in-depth discussion with this. I've already done it 10,000 times. I'm not going to do it again. Go back and look at my speed of light presentations. Okay, we could stop right there because I know Adam wanted to get out into this. Go ahead, Adam.
No, because literally after that, my fish finger sandwich arrived. No, just one little bit because I've not had a chance to go through it all yet. It's stuff me and Dr. John D. Just chatted to each other on for ages in terms of energy. There's not one bigger, stinkier convention of fudge-nissery than energy. How we pretend that I have a peanut, eat the peanut, and can lift a stone up to give a potential energy of a mass. And all of that is the same transfer of this same concept, even though at no point can we define any of them, even though we recognize they're all different forms of the same thing that we think. Energy is the biggest, smellier. You'd think mass is difficult to deal with. Energy is even worse and just shows what's beautiful is really, we can deal with things in the real world, but when we try to actually put an explanation on, it is nonsense. And energy is the greatest one for me because shout out John D's got I think a couple of videos out covering it.
Yeah, I would say mass thinks more to high heaven than energy. That's me personally.
Yeah. I don't know which bit of energy it is because they're all pretty smelly, but when you put them together, you know what I mean? What's the energy in a peanut? What?
Peanuts.
Yeah. No, but do you know what I mean? And I've got to suppose that I can break it down, break some bonds with digest, and release this magical energy within my body to transfer it so I can use.
That's what it is. Power. Bond energy, for the most part. Bond energy, yeah, for the most part.
They're the simplest parts. They're the only bit that actually do have some kind of thing because it's all that conceptual one thing, one bond energy, and you can see that works within the convention as bond energies work out in exo-endothermic reaction. You know what I mean? All those things work within the convention, but you try and turn that bond energy into synaptic potential and then that into lifting a weight and pretend that there's been no escape and loss within the universe. When you try to keep all of those things in that same convention, that's where you are really pushing it for me, where it's smellier. A little bit off topic, but but all of those rely on, you know what I mean? Look at the three things within the fairy tale, and that's why I just wanted to raise. You say you've questioned mass. We all know about speed of light. Energy we sometimes think is real, and it's one of the most imagineered things. All those bond energies, not one of them's real. They're only imagineered in the convention anyway. Do you get me? It's total maths for me. You eating a banana again?
Hello?
I had a brisket burger. Oh, it was so good, Adam. You would have loved it.
Oh, I was on mute. Sorry.
Unbelievable.
Desperate to mute.
Unbelievable. Yeah, I took a couple bites.
We got a banana in his mouth, probably.
I took a couple quick bites because Adam was talking. And I felt, I had a little leeway right there. I'd get away with it.
Yeah, and he did his best to make it as long as possible. And then you're still gone.
I was on mute. I'm sorry. I wanted to be respectful. I usually go on mute to be respectful.
Well, then.
Well, what? That's right. You just go on mute.
I have a suggestion. But
you have a suggestion? Yeah, I know what the suggestion is. You just keep that to yourself.
Well, I got a super chat too.
All right, go ahead.
Okay, we got one from Unitux Famu, Sasha. What is definable in equation ... Nothing. Wow. Or wow. I don't know how he wants to pronounce.
Well, it's that particular equation. all other, I'm not saying all other equations, but each case is specific. You got to go by case basis, is what I'm trying to say. Okay? So don't basket up all equations into that. No, each one has to be evaluated separately. Okay?
All
All right. So relativity. Oh, God.
Jeez.
Here we go. What?
Are you done with your banana already?
No, I'm just nipping at it.
Oh. You can't do that and talk at the same time.
Yes, I can. I'm done right now, so I'm done nipping. So can I continue?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Can we end this?
So relativity, special relativity and general relativity via different mechanisms, speed versus gravity, can dilate, bend, and warp time. That's what it is, folks. That's what they try to tell you out there. So the primary school falsification, and I'm just gonna prosecution rest with this one because it kills it. Time is a conceptual relationship between two motions. Now, remember, I'm putting us into the fairy tale paradigm and defining it. I don't want that to be lost on anyone. Okay? So time is a conceptual relationship between two motions. Specifically, it's based on an alleged single rotation of the Earth on its axis with respect to the sun, a day. Even in their fairy tale paradigm, it's still a concept. It's non-physical. It is without chemical formula or structure. It has no dimensionality or orthogonality, no direction or location. You can't put some time in a jar and paint that mug red. You can't do it. Makes no sense. It's a belly laugher. Like I said, I mean, come on now. Let's reason together. Can you dilate, bend, or warp non-physical concepts? Is it your contention that if you have poison ivy on the brain, you could scratch it by thinking of sandpaper? Freedom is also a concept. Can you bend that? That which you are using to measure isn't the thing you're measuring. A football field is 100 yards long, but a football field isn't yardsticks. If I bend that yardstick, does the football field bend also? The yardsticks are analog to the clock. The football field is analog to time. I hope everyone can see that. I hope that's a profound statement right there for you. So if something affects, say, cesium atomic clocks, or any modern clock for that matter, does that then ipso facto mean the Earth's alleged rotation in relation to the sun is affected? These two mytho-mathematical fairy tales, SR and GR, that's special relativity and general relativity, were falsified 30 seconds after their respective publications by third graders at recess, for goodness sakes. In toto, each are massive reification fallacies on steroids. At the base level, that's the best that it gets right there. Quick comments and questions on that one. That was quick. Let's move on. I was only kidding. Does anyone got anything?
Just the fish finger sandwich.
Just eating that finger-licking fish sandwich you got that's not beer battered. Right? I might as well take a bite, too.
Oh, God. Two eating guys.
No, it's not beer battered. It's just breadcrumbs.
Did you hear what I had? I had a brisket burger from Buffalo Wild Wings that was outstanding.
Thanks, Neil.
Even a bunch of guys eating.
Thanks, Neil. That's right on topic.
Yeah, because the mass of this burger, and it wasn't going nowhere, but it attracted. See, I changed my opinions because I was attracted to this mass right away.
Did you drop it, Neil? See how fast it went to the ground?
No, I dropped it right in my stomach.
Yeah. All right, let's finish this up since no one had anything. I thought that was pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah, yardsticks, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm thinking so. I tried to put an analogy in there so people could relate.
An analogy.
An analogy. An analogy.
Analogy.
Hey, are you making fun of my draw? Yeah. This is really a good one, too. I hear a lot of people convoluting. I don't know how they do this. This just smacks to me of pure pretender clown making shit up. They're not even parroting wiki. I don't know where they got this from. That they think Einstein and quantum mechanics are synonymous for some reason. Anyone with like 5 seconds into the topic realized they're antithetical to each other. Let me state this from David Bohm, renowned professor of physics. Right? If you don't know David Bohm, he's another big britches guy. He was personal friends with Einstein for many years. Let's see what he has to say. One can see that relativity and quantum mechanics, the two most fundamental theories of matter, really contradict each other. Well, duh. Anyone that's been in the topic for 5 seconds knows that. In the sense that relativity is local, it's causal, it's determined, it's continuous. And quantum mechanics is just the opposite. So I don't know. I don't know what it is. Einstein's a tear-jerking belly laugh. There's no doubt about it. But the pathetically juvenile, weak attempt to somehow associate Einstein and quantum mechanics as the same is just buffoonery. I don't get it. I've heard this a few times recently, by the way. That's why I wanted to stop here for a second. Now, I could go to in-depth reasons why. I'm not going to because I've done it many times in the past. But just this statement right here should tell you something. If it doesn't, I don't know what to tell you. Okay, so we're going back. And remember, the laws of physics are always quantum mechanical laws. So if you combine these two statements from Professor Shankar and David Bohm, then, so if the laws of physics are always quantum mechanical laws and Einstein's fairy tale stand in direct contradiction to them, see, contradict each other? Yeah, you see that? Then where does that leave Einstein's fairy tales? Might I ask? That's rhetorical, by the way, obviously. I don't know what to tell you guys. So let's tie a bow around gravity, both Newtonian, that I don't like using Newtonian with the gravity thing. So let's just say John Michel, Cavendish, C.V. Boyce, and Einstein's disheveled offerings, just pulverize them. How about that? How about we do that? And guess who I'm going to use? Not me, not Adam, not Nathan, not Betty, not Neil. I'm going to use one of their priests. We're back to the big britches again. This is Martin Rees, FRS, Astronomer Royale with cheese. He's going to tell you what causes. Oh, this is Princeton Press, by the way. So not in a comic book. What causes gravity and mass? These questions still baffle all of us. What? What'd you just say there, Mr. Rees? So, according to Professor Rees, does mass attracting mass cause gravity? Nope. According to Professor Rees, does space-time cause gravity? Nope. What we got going on here, folks? That's rhetorical, too. I'll just leave that out there for you. What do we got going on here? Real scientific theories identify the cause of the effect. Well, okie dokie. The general theory of relativity is a theory of gravity, right? It is. So, ballers, you have a scientific theory without a cause. It's beyond belly laugher. So it's not a scientific theory. What they got is actually nothing. Alice in Wonderland has more veracity. Now, we're going to end it with that. So, have a nice day. Now, these two presentations that I've given you, put together, If this doesn't tell you that it's a convoluted gaggle screw of contradictory nonsense at every step, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't. I can't present it any more clearly. So that's it. How you like that, Betty? That was pretty quick. Questions, comments, concerns?
Concerns. Why do we still use all these guys?
We don't. The Baltards do. Well, they don't even use them, like I said before. They kind of use them as a surrogate to make shit up. Because
Well, they say we need all this because otherwise we can't engineer all these appliances we have.
Huh?
Yeah, I heard them say that we need all these equations and these calculations of mass and weight and whatever. Otherwise, we can't make bridges and that sort of stuff.
You make you said bridges or britches?
Bridge.
Oh,
A bridge.
bridges.
Yeah,
You saying we need them for my toaster oven?
could be. Well, depends on how much weight you want to put in there.
Hmm.
If you're working on the bridges, you're gonna shit your britches.
Oh my God.
Thanks, Neil.
If I was building bridges and I worked back after building lots of bridges to invent a special kind of new reality, building bridges, it was all its numbers were based on me the bridges I built. And I invented this reality, and moving forward, I could build loads of bridges using this, yeah? The next second I tried to build a pier or a house using this same theology, it showed up that the theology I used, which was very accurate for building bridges, wasn't accurate for the rest of reality. And that's what we have here. It's a convoluted math screw, which seems fine if you keep it within its context, which is the Newtonian, the Einsteinian, which is in concept of space. Yeah, but all of what's happening is that within experiment, within demonstrable physics, it's shown that the concepts that were had by Einstein, Newton, were no longer correct. They were just based in my own made-up world of how I conceptualize it based on my real-world data observations. It didn't mean my data was wrong. It does mean I was basically living in a world of phlogiston. Yeah, I knew things burnt, so I could burn things. But it didn't mean I understood why they burnt. And I think that's what Newton and Einstein are, and what quantum mechanics demonstrates. It doesn't still mean we understand it fully, but it does demonstrate that there is a just phlogiston.
Don't forget about Maxwell.
And he's a complete arse and all, isn't he? With his ether.
Especially when he carries the silver hammer.
No, the Maxwell stuff is it's kind of like that progression. There's nothing wrong with trying to figure things out and having a theory up until a point, but there comes a point where current knowledge kind of means that the understanding you had shows the understanding you had is completely at odds with the physics of what you've just demonstrated. So when that case comes, that's when you have to abandon that understanding, that way of conceptualization of it, because you're not God, you don't understand it all. We're not now. We have a atomic theory now, yeah? If you come across something that absolutely destroys it and says that conceptualization is so wrong with what we've just discovered, and that's the point you have to abandon it, because it tells you you're not gonna be able to build a house. You're only going to be able to build bridges still. It only works in the field you built that conceptualization in.
All right. Thanks, Adam. We got Brandon Levy. I just focused my attention to chat. How can you discredit Newton and Einstein, but they are used every day? Really? What do you mean by used? Why don't you come on in here? There's a link. There's a Discord link in the description box, and come on in here. We want one example where Newton is used, whatever that means, and Einstein's used. Come on, show us. Okay.
I've just said that. Hopefully, the point I'm not attacking Einstein or Newton. Yeah,
I am.
Whether, I mean, I know. I mean, I'm not attacking them directly. I'm not. I don't have to. Quantum mechanics is saying they're wrong. Yeah, and the professors are saying they're wrong. We're just highlighting that. We're not having the gall to attack such legends as Einstein and Newton. We're pointing out that the current state of physics points out that they're wrong. It's a model that needs to be rejected. It's no longer has validity through the current level of experiment and scientific knowledge we have through experiment. It demonstrates that the models they used are no longer valid. You can sit in them still if you want to build a bridge or work out your load on a boat. You can do all those things, but you have to grasp the concept that that's only useful for loading a boat. It's never going to tell you any further about reality and figuring things out because it's fundamentally flawed, as demonstrated by experiment within quantum mechanics.
Oh yeah, I seen another one of his posts that was up higher. Sorry about that. How can you discredit science with other science? No, we're not doing that. We're discrediting pseudoscience with actual science. That's what we did. So change your statement. You can come in here. Come on in. Did he pop in here yet?
I don't think so.
Oh, I got a message. That's a good one, Betty.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pretty good one. I'll have to check that. Check back with that one later. I don't need to share that here. Oh, that is disgusting. Matt Will East. Is that a big old carp? Open original. Okay, I'll show it on it. No, I can't do it. I'll have to go to a big one. I can't do it. No, just forget I said anything.
Is that GIF that we're looking at?
Yeah, the GIF with the big old carp and that guy trying to hold the carp.
Well, that's an impossible task.
I think it looks like a carp here to me. It's going too fast. It looks like a carp.
Mm.
All right. Okay, I think we waited long enough for... Who was it? Was his name Brandon? Yeah, Brandon Levy. You can come in here at any point and support those statements. I don't have a problem with it. You don't see the... What do you mean you don't see the link? There better be a link in the description box. Can somebody check that? The description box underneath this video on YouTube. Hit the description box and then scroll down. There should be a Discord link right there. Takes you right into this VC.
I will give anyone. Here we go.
I'm pretty sure it's there. I just checked it today.
Yeah, it's usually there. You can't miss it.
Oh, Adam's right behind you with one, Betty.
Ooh.
I just grabbed what was on my screen now, just so that it can.
Well, you can choose.
They look like two different links.
They are. I took a new one.
Oh, okay. But isn't mine indefinite?
I made a no limit, but a 1 hour entry.
Got no limit. Hold them.
You have different things that you can make links in Discord. Just
Okay.
trust me on that.
Okay. So we'll just sit here and wait for him to come in.
Well, I thought we were going to make it a fast one.
Well, we'll give him a couple minutes, and then we'll close out with that.
Open the panel up then.
Say again?
Open the rest up. There's been a few folks sat waiting. They might have something to say on.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that, Betty. Go ahead.
I opened up the mic from BCFC Island. Hello, are you there? Mr. Island? Mrs. Island? Oh, he says he's AFK.
Yeah, nope. He's Betty. Don't rub us. Somebody's talking.
Hi.
I was just I was away doing stuff. I heard my name, so I just came back.
Okay.
It was just on in the background.
Did you listen to the presentation?
I was getting my kids ready for bed. You know, I was hearing bits, you know, in between doing stuff. So, again, I can't say fully. I listened to it all.
Okay.
I'll do it. I'll do it another time.
Kick him out!
Well, John has kind of a soothing voice, doesn't he? Makes the kids go to bed.
That was another backhanded slight, I think.
I think it's a compliment in there somewhere.
You want to try compliment again?
There was some compliment in there.
All right,
somewhere.
fair enough.
Yeah. And I got a guy named Matt Will East, and he also dozed off.
Hey!
And I think I muted him now. Okay. Hey, Matt. Hi.
Hey everybody, cool show.
Thank you.
Yeah, I just I guess I got a comment. I was checking out your quantum eraser experiment explained, double slit explained QE.
Oh, you did?
And yeah, man, I liked it. I really enjoyed it. There was a lot to learn there.
Well, good. I'm glad. Did it answer some of your questions at least?
Sure. It did, yeah. Answer. You know, there's still plenty more I have to learn about it. Obviously, I'm about 120 years or more behind the curve on this.
Yeah.
On this whole subject. I noticed, like, when you were talking about the history of the topic, like 1801, Thomas Young, he got an interference pattern.
That's correct.
And it seemed like, I guess, counterintuitive, like that he would get an interference pattern instead of a column. Like no one had observed the experiment for like 100 years.
It wasn't an actual experiment he did. They call it the Young's experiment. It's just a demonstration. He just shone light through double slit.
Cool, man.
Yeah, that's all he did. But they didn't know anything. So from 1801 till about 1910, 1915, everyone just thought light was a wave, and that was it. That was it. That's what they thought, right? But the problems arose during now Einstein had some input into this with the photoelectric effect. So and that and Compton scattering, that you then had a contradiction, right? If light was a wave, then how in the world can a wave be a particle? It can't. That was the big contradiction after Compton scattering. After those two, but mainly Compton scattering, because that really put the nail in the coffin. So that was the big kickoff to quantum mechanics, I would say. So there's no wave particle duality. That's just nonsense. And obviously you watched the presentation, so you see where I destroyed that, right?
Oh yeah, I did. It was I had so far I've only watched it twice, but I'm sure I have to watch it again.
Yeah, it takes a few times. Yeah, make sure and do that. Yep. Cool, man.
Cool. I appreciate y'all.
Yeah, not a problem. Glad I could help. Betty, you still... Where's Betty at? She took off. What?
There was a bit in there, John. Would you elaborate on?
No, I don't want to elaborate. I want to find out where Betty went.
She's gone.
That 12 gravity took her away.
She just up and left. Hold on a second. Let me see if she left me a message.
Move on. Let her go. Here you go, look. New Betty.
Is it Betty back? Is Betty back?
Betty back.
Betty back. Where'd you go, Betty?
Well, since your computer problem stopped, mine started.
Oh, really?
It's froze on me.
Oh, that sucks. I looked down there for you, and I was waiting. Okay, so I'll take over. Is that all you have, or do you want to stop here?
Me?
Yeah, do you want to complain about your computer a little bit?
What's there to say?
Yeah, I totally understand. So we're on to Neil. Matt gave his synopsis, and we're on to Neil. You want to take over?
Yeah, well, Neil can talk. He's unmuted.
We thought the 12 gravity you're talking about took you away.
Well, I didn't gravitate to the ground.
My concerns are, when are people going to catch on that it's all a bunch of nonsense?
Well, you have to be a little bit more specific into what's nonsense, not just make generalized, vague statements about everything is nonsense. Not everything isn't nonsense. Can you be a little bit more specific?
The whole gravity thing is nonsense to me.
Oh, okay. Then okay. Yeah. When are they going to figure it out? I don't know. I've been teaching this subject for many years.
And thank God for that.
Well, I don't know why you're thanking God for that. It doesn't seem like you said that people are getting it. I think a lot of people do. You just have a couple of holdouts. It's that. Remember, I told you it's the left wing faction that's making shit up.
I meant thank God that you're teaching it.
Oh, okay. You're welcome. Is that Brandon Marshall? Is that the guy? Brandon Levy? You're off mute. Brandon Marshall, you are off mute. Are you Brandon Levy? You must be. There's no other Brandons popping in here.
He might have that issue that you can't talk in a little while.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Let's go. Let's go, Brandon.
I didn't even see him come off mute. So usually they come off mute.
Go, Brandon.
Thank you, Betty. I thought that had gone to waste.
Isn't that F. Joe Biden? F. Brandon or something? Isn't that the same thing?
You could have said that, but it's a family show.
That tickled Betty's funny bone, boy. Okay.
Yeah, because it's usually said, and then yeah, you could have said that.
We'll move on.
Yeah.
Neil, was that all you had?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Platter, you're off mute.
Hello. We got two Irish guys in here. I just arrived, sorry, about 5 minutes ago. I was out with my daughter all morning. There.
Who, you and Adam?
Yeah. Yeah. What time, Curie, what time is the stream usually start, Eastern Standard Time on a Tuesday?
It would be 2:00 Eastern Standard Time.
Okay. I'll make
Now,
a note
don't let BALLBUSTERS fool you, because that starts at 2 p.m. or 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, so they're 1 hour off.
Question for you. When did you realize, Curie, when that the Earth was flat, that the globe was complete nonsense? About 10 years ago, or more than that, or less? Or
May 15th, 2016.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I don't remember the exact date. For me, it's about a year now. How come you remember the exact date? Was there something specific that day?
Yeah, somebody challenged me on a written forum. It wasn't a voice forum. Because I used to talk about the second law of thermodynamics all the time, and they were just sitting back. I guess that they were just sitting back waiting. And they put the question to me, more or less, I could paraphrase it. I can't remember the exact words, but is it more or less, how can you have gas pressure without a container? More or less. They didn't say it like that, but more or less, right? So as soon as they said that, there was nothing I could do. I would, for the first time in a really, really long time, I didn't have a coherent answer to refute, and I knew it immediately.
Don't feel bad, John. There isn't one.
Yeah.
That's the big one for you.
Yeah, that made the difference for me. Now, it doesn't, directly say the Earth is flat. However, it's the whole suitcase. Right? Because once you go to that, I already see the really bad part is I already knew astrophysics, cosmology, and astronomy were fairy tales. I already knew all that. And pretty well versed in the second law. And like I said, it's not a direct debunk of the sphere Earth. It just takes the whole heliocentric model and just takes it out back to the woodshed and beats it like a redheaded stepchild. How about that?
Yeah. Great answer. Yeah, and then I'm on the shores of Lake Ontario, so I'm definitely not a scientist. I'm a French teacher, believe it or not. But I just went down to the shores of like Lake Ontario, near about 30 kilometers away from Toronto, and took the opened up the curve calculator on my phone, and I could see more or less. I'm like almost 6 feet tall. Punched in the information. I shouldn't see the bottom 200 feet of Toronto. And there it is right there. You know, something's not right. Then same as you can't have the gas pressure without a container. That one I can't prove, but I can go down to it's logical scientific sense, but I can go down to the lake every day almost on a clear day. And there it is right there, the bottom, nearly the bottom of the CN Tower and the Rogers Centre beside it. And even from like 50 kilometers away at Grimsby, looking across the lake, it's just right there. And some guy, he saw me like 1 foot off the ground. He came up to me, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm just measuring to see if there's any curvature." And he's like, "Okay." And then the two of us just got talking. So I just started a conversation that way and gave him something to think about.
Really cool. Sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's just, I don't know what I was doing the first 42 years of my life. I'd never... I never bought evolution. I guess I could say I'm from like a critical thinking Christian background, but evolution never made sense to me. And I never bought the moon landing, other stuff in the last 15 years, a certain day in September. And then this one is like, why has this taken so long to come to me? How could I have been so blind to it for so long? But I guess that's the testimony of a lot of us.
Well,
it would have been intellectually dishonest of me to, the same as yourself, like you can't answer these questions. There should be a curve there. There should be a container there. There's going to be a vacuum, and it's just not there. How can I continue to defend that lie?
Yeah. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Exactly. You got it. Yeah. Welcome to our world.
Why would they then why would they invent a vacuum and make life so difficult for themselves? Why would they just not say that space is something else?
I don't know, man, about that one. You're going to have to ask them. I don't know.
I can't say enough how much I appreciate the work you guys are doing. I can't remember the exact date for me. What was the catalyst? It might have been through Gab, because I have an account there where I saw like some posts, or I know I was listening to Owen Benjamin for a while,
right?
Not anymore really, and he would reference the globe stuff quite a bit, and then maybe I saw a link to your YouTube channel, and it's just been
cool,
fantastic.
Cool. Well, welcome aboard, man. Glad to have you.
Well, thank you. I owe you guys a super chat, some of you for sure, or not super chat, whatever it is, the PayPal.
Yeah. Go on with your bad self. Honey, somebody said they're PayPal.
I got the information from, I got your link there, so I'll do it the next day or two from Helio Skeptic there. So.
Oh, did you get it from Helio Skeptic? Oh, cool. Okay, yeah. Thanks, man.
Okay, I'll mute this.
Yeah, appreciate it. Yep.
Platter was saying what a beautiful French accent that was.
Merci, monsieur.
You raised the point, and it's a really good. Why would they invent? Because irrespective, nature abhors a vacuum. That's been known throughout history. So why would they stick their fairy tale in something that's in such opposition to natural law? It is a good thing. Why stick it in a pool of problems? They could have stuck with the biblical. It's all water between here and there. I suppose then you lose distance, don't you? You can't take everything to infinity. So my answer then, which I didn't have when I started this, would be because it's the only way you can take the stars to infinity.
Yeah. Yep.
Isn't it?
Yep. Now that as soon as you started bringing it up, I said, yeah, they need the distance. Yeah. So that's probably one reason, but you'd have to ask them, Platter. And them, probably most of them are, you need some serious smelling salts and a really big friggin' heater.
My next question, I think, for those guys will be, because I know they believe in the distant starlight, and I always find that as a difficult one when it came to evolution. Oh, they're saying, that the stars are so far away, so the universe must be billions of years old because it's taken so many years for us to see the starlight we're looking at. Started traveling millions of years ago or whatever. So I guess obviously the stars are within the firmament, or probably, and the stars aren't millions, and all those telescopes and those big observatories everywhere out in the desert, they know when they look up. Do they know then that the stars aren't millions of miles away and those things are just built for show? Or could the stars be further away? I can't see how I can fit that the stars are far away.
You're going to have to identify the they.
Well, the astronomers, whoever are in those big those big observatories, big domes you see with the telescopes poking out of them.
Yeah.
I don't know what they're up to in there. I mean, maybe they're built for show and just to make it seem like they're just peering at distant stars. But I've never been in one.
No, I think that most of them are pretty committed as to what they are and how far they are. That's what it strikes to me. I mean, yeah, I can't speak for them though. You're going to have to ask one.
Yeah.
All right, Betty. I know Betty. She has to get out of here. She's getting angrier and angrier at me. One more last shot at Brandon Levy, who is Brandon Marshall in here. You are off mute, sir. And
Let's go, Brandon.
Let's go, Brandon. He's not doing it. So, let's go ahead and wrap it up. And maybe next time, Brandon, just come on the next show, and that would be next Tuesday. There is no BALLBUSTERS this Saturday. It's every other week. So maybe on the next show, next Tuesday. Don't know what I'm going to do. I thought I was going to do spectrochocoloscopy. We'll get to that, but we'll see. I'll talk with Betty. We'll see which direction we go, but we'll have a good show lined up for next Tuesday. Anything else, Betty? Final thoughts?
Yeah, I'm thinking that Brandon can't put anything in the chats, right? That he's not here, or can't speak. That might be the case because Discord, when you first come in, it can be like
sure,
right?
Yes.
Yeah, it might not be his fault.
No, I didn't. Discord. I didn't say it was his fault, and you are absolutely
no, but just for the audience to sort of. And I don't know whether he's a glober or a flat earther, so I sent him a message to do that so that I can give him a role, which makes it possible to put something in the chat.
Okay, cool. So maybe next time he could pop in.
Sure.
Yeah, that would be okay. Yeah, not a problem. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Final thoughts, because we're gonna be out of here.
Yep. Well, the gravity thing. It's good that we reviewed it. Might be a little swift, right? Swift overview, maybe that we did, right?
I think it was good enough to just pound it into incoherent oblivion.
Sure. Sure, and people can, if they want more elaborate things, they can always review previous shows, right?
Yes.
Because we have three of those, so it's a good one. But it's good to review things again. I mean, the repetition is good because they do that with children at schools all the time. So we better do the same thing here, and repeat so that people get the drift, get the idea of it, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, maybe next time I can see if I can. I have a little clip or video that someone made on the Star Trail thing that people have sort of problems with.
Okay.
And maybe I can make that show that on the stream and
okay.
See if I can make sort of clarify that to people a little bit so that they understand it. How that could work.
So somebody else will be presenting other than me? It sounds like
no. This is not a topic that. Well, it will be a 10-minute show then, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that. Yep.
Sure, you're good. Now you're good with that.
Yeah, I'm good with that because I got so much content. I got so much cowbell that I can recover from just that 10 minutes.
Maybe time enough to get your banana out and eat.
I already ate it. Yeah. All right. Let's wrap it up. Thanks, guys.
Get last words?
Yeah, everyone gave their last words. Do you have any more last words?
Oh, no, I thought that we got him, but I was out for a little while, so.
Yeah,
Okay.
we got everyone in. Yep. So thanks, guys, for coming. Appreciate it. Let me leave you with this little clip. I play them at the beginning. I always forget to play them at the end, but we'll play this one over for you. Enjoy it. Hope it helps. Hope the things that I went over, most of those things are little nuanced to certain things from Einstein and Maxwell, but not overly complicated. So it's all nonsense, as shown for the 578,964th time. So hang in there, and we'll catch you on the flip side. Out.
There is no triangulation in celestial navigation, so it is actually triangulation. There is no triangulation in celestial navigation, so it is actually triangulation.
With celestial navigation using a sextant, we're not triangulating.
So it is actually triangulation to the GP. So you can draw it on your chart, draw a line there, and then you do it for all three, and you get your intersection. So it is actually triangulation. There is no triangulation in celestial navigation.
With celestial navigation using a sextant, we're not triangulating.
So it is actually triangulation.
Are you serious? Are you
The double-speaking McBooger-eating, Baldard bum sniffer wouldn't know what the sextant or celestial navigation were if they climbed up his arse and started kicking footballs wrapped in concertina wire.
Just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber, you go and do something like this. And totally redeem yourself!
I think the sun is a physical object, and I think it is solid enough.
What the hell did you just say?
I think the sun is a physical object, and I think it is solid enough.
Say what?
Yes, a gas giant bounces radar.
How in the world can a
Gas giant
be
solid enough? So yeah, I don't know.
You dumbass cracker?
You are so dumb. Damn.